Welcome back to the Sir Purrcast episode 18. It's been a really fun journey. I think every 30 episodes are going to do a new season. So just keep that in mind. Back to the Sir Purrcast. I'm going to make the decision to I'm going to continue the top 5 Panthers plays 2025, but don't expect it to be soon. It might be. I'm just going to continue it whenever I don't have an idea. And, right now, I do have an idea. And that is, not really an idea, just, something to talk about. Anyways. Right now, I do. It was inspired by watching the, Xavier Legette interview, as well as Rasheed Walker, as well as just leading articles on Panthers.com. In today's episode, we're gonna just make a list of the top 10 things to look out for in this 2026 Panthers season / off season. Just the top 10 things to look out for in general. Starting off with number 1, I've been saying it the entire podcast, dating back to whenever, I don't know, dating back to pretty early on episodes. Xavier Legette is going to be a very productive receiver. I have a lot of reasons for this. And these are a lot of, recent ones have come up. There's nothing, every day, there's new reasons appearing as we speak. He's been looking really good in OTAs and mandatory minicamp. Obviously looking a lot more faster, moving with so much more confidence and purpose, and just looking like a better player. Taking just that next step. Another reason, just connecting with Bryce, obviously inviting them down to Mullins, South Carolina, for over the past weekend, I think. That just shows you he's connecting with his teammates, he's bonding. And that connection with Bryce is really important. I'll talk about the interview later, so I'll brush up on a few things he said. And then, he lost weight, and that's a big thing that just shows you that he wants to get better, he wants to put in the work, he wants to be productive this season. He knows he can't have the last 2 seasons, and losing weight at 220, dropping down from 228 or 230, is what he said. That's really, that just shows a lot about his type of person he is, his character, and his willingness to get better. So that's basically what I've seen from OTAs and stuff. And then the interview today that came out, you guys should go check that out. That's a great interview especially if you're high on Xavier Legette. That'll just boost it even more forward. But the first thing I remember them talking about, I'm definitely going to miss some stuff, so that's why you should watch the interview. But the first thing I remember them talking about was the trip to South Carolina, and then just beyond that, just Legette's role in leadership just being increasing. He's developed a bigger leadership role according to coaches and players. So you love to see that. Xavier's a really special player, and I'm super happy that he's on the team. And obviously, if he doesn't have a productive year, I don't know if re-signing him is going to be the right move for the team, but I think he's going to. But leadership role, and that just shows that he wants to stay in Carolina. With, team bonding. The other thing he said was just the opportunity, the relationship with Bryce. He said there's never been an issue, but he can always grow. That just shows that, he's going to continue to just get better connection, and stuff like that. He said that he was willing to do whatever it takes to be better. Obviously, this is about the weight thing. He said dropping down, the trainers trainers told him, asked him to drop down. He did it. He didn't have a problem with it. He said, do whatever it takes, and that just shows the attitude he has towards this season. It's awesome. And also Xavier, he said he was looking to bulletproof his hamstring. And there has been, there's not been, like, any serious injuries, any, like, season-ending ones for Xavier, but there have been a couple moments where he stayed down on the field for a time, and, the hamstring, and that is, you love to see people taking care of their health, because, the last thing I want to see is an injured player. And then the last thing was, in the interview, he said he couldn't have another season like last two. He said he's looking to, like, get better. Because he was not happy with his last 2 seasons, and that's amazing to see. You love to see that. You love to see players wanting to improve, but he seemed, like, very disappointed with himself in the last 2 seasons and knowing he could do better, and I believe he can do better too, and I believe he will. So that's the first thing. The second thing to look out for is the battle at left tackle in preseason and training camp. Rasheed Walker and Monroe Freeling. Rasheed Walker was in an interview today, so that was great. He said he believes he has a starting role, but, he doesn't take it for granted or something like that. But Walker has a starting role, but, you're going to see a lot of Freeling and a lot of Walker. I think so. Especially in training camp and OTAs. Preseason. So just be on the lookout for that. I think either one could be really productive. Walker had a lot of praise for Monroe. Both of them getting to learn from, like, veterans and all-pros in the NFL, like Taylor Moton, Damian Lewis, and Robert Hunt. Like, that's really awesome. And also, like, another thing to look out for that, if one of them shines, you should worry for Icky. Is his job going to look different, or is the one that doesn't get the starting job not gonna be on the team next year? Obviously, well, I guess if Walker doesn't get the starting job, he's not going to be on the team. Obviously, Monroe would still be on the team. Anyways, so for my third thing is nickel cornerback spot battle. J.C. Horn and was put at the nickel spot for a lot of minicamp and OTAs and stuff like that. We saw him get starting reps. I just had to pause it really quick. Sorry about that. I was on nickel cornerback, yeah. But if JC does see a lot more playing time, I said this last episode, so I'm just going to quickly debrief it. It allows you to have their 3 best cornerbacks on the field at the same time. Will Lee, Mike Jacks, J.C. Horn. But if he sees a lot more playing time and just overall starting job at that nickel spot, which I personally would not be unhappy with, Shasta Slade and Corey Thornton could be in jeopardy. So, yeah. That's one thing to look out for. The fourth thing to look out for, did I have 4? Yeah. Is the Turk Wharton. Canales did not give a due date on when he was going to be back. So he could be back for training camp. He could be back mid-season. He could be back for week 1. We don't know. But just, keep an eye on that progression. If that's one thing. He's a big factor when he's on the field. Really good run stopper. He can get to the quarterback. Big personality. Great teammate. There's a lot of positives when he's out there. But the thing you want to see is a full recovery. I hope Turk Wharton can get that. But yeah, just keep out. Like, if you watch the progression of of him. Try and find out when he's gonna get back on the field. Or I guess you can't really right now, but anyways. For number 5, Bryce Young, developing a more leadership role and just taking control of the offense more. You probably have seen the clip. I talked about this last time. But Bryce is looking like a better leader. He looks more calm. He looks like just like a Panthers quarterback. What am I saying? He's taken on more of a leadership role. He's taken just ownership of the offense more. Is how I would say it. Bryce has looked and improved greatly in these past 3 seasons. And I have no doubt that we're going to see that in season number 4 for him. And I think the team's going to rally behind him even more. I think the Panthers have only gotten better. I'm super excited to see this offense. I cannot wait. And Bryce is going to look a lot better than last season. Obviously, he played really good in some games last season, and I think he's going to see a lot more consistency, and I think you're going to see much more of a leadership role. So, yeah. The other thing is the additions of Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd, some of the biggest free agent signings just in the league. We're both on the defensive side for the Panthers. And those are some 2 really big pieces that, you should be excited to get if you're a fan. Devin Lloyd, obviously known for his 99-yard pick 6 on Patrick Mahomes in the Jaguars game week 4. But that's just like a positional improvement and just a starting job, more than anything. That's just a new starter being replaced. That's just a new starter being added. An amazing player, a very smart player, very disciplined, and just really good at just getting to the ball, making the play. And he's a very versatile linebacker. He can blitz, he can cover, he can stop the run. And he's just an amazing player. Someone you want on your team. Great energy, great effort. And then Jalen Phillips is the same, really quick off the line. Really good at getting to the quarterback, getting the ball out. We saw it firsthand with Bryce Young. He took a sack to Jalen Phillips in the Dolphins game last year. And it's not that easy to catch Bryce Young. He's a really big, really fast, just great hand movement. He can beat you anywhere. He can bull rush you. He can get you to the outside. He can spin on the inside. He can rush from anywhere. He could drop that in coverage. He has familiarity with Ivero's 4-3 system or 3-4 system. Sorry, is it 4-3? I think it's 3-4. Whatever. Which one has 4 linebackers and 3 pass rushers with 2 ends, whatever. A lot of familiarity with that, and that's an amazing thing to see, especially because if you bring someone who's not used to coverage and you ask them to cover, it's going to take a long time to adjust. And you're probably not going to want to keep them on all 3 downs. And Jalen Phillips is definitely a 3-down player. This kind of brings into my 7th thing. I think we're at 7. Yeah. Which is Jalen Phillips' health. Obviously, he's had a lot of injuries in the past. With the ACL, I believe. And obviously, I hope he stays healthy. And that's something to look out for, because not every play, I guess, is, oh my gosh, I don't really want to say that. Just keep look out for that. Be aware of that. Jalen Phillips has struggled with injuries in the past, but I believe he's going to be healthy. He was healthy for last season. He's looking good. My 8th thing to look out for is some of the receivers. Jonathan Brooks. Actually, I can do the receivers one. I have like a list, but I'll do the receivers one still. No, it's John Mechie, and I think John Mechie could make the 53-man roster at the start of the season. I think, we have Dan Chisena, Malik Mega. I don't know how to pronounce that, but obviously Malik Mega is a very large player. But I think Mechie with the connection and Young, I think that's gonna continue. I think they're gonna pick up like where they left off, especially if they see some reps in preseason. We're gonna get really evaluate that and go based on that. And I think that's. Hello, we are back. I think they're gonna pick up right where they left off, and I think they're gonna continue to perform. And seeing that in preseason is definitely gonna give you a perspective of what might happen. So getting that extra game is big for sure. Number 9 is just the running back battle, but more so just Jonathan Brooks. He's gonna be an electric player this season. I think he's gonna be one of the best in the league. On screen passes for sure. Just we saw a little bit in the Bucks game, Week 13 in 2024. There was a screen pass that he was productive on there. But other than that, we didn't really see too much. But Jonathan Brooks, just his speed, it's a real game changer. It's an amazing player to have on your team, someone you want to have on your team. And it's just unbelievable that he's gonna be able to learn behind Chuba, which happy birthday Chuba Hubbard. But just an amazing player to learn behind. Their relationship is really strong. So I look forward to seeing that connection. I really look forward to seeing Brooks play. And then number 10 is just I'm just gonna take this as an opportunity to glaze the Panthers. Number 10 is just the Panthers are going to be a scary team. I'm just gonna say number 10 is look out for the games where you just immediately count them out in, because don't count them out. They're going to be a scary team. They've beaten good teams. They beat good teams last year. They can hang with anyone, and they can lose to anyone, but, that's just how being the Cardiac Cats is. You can beat anyone, and you can lose to anyone. But I think the Panthers are going to win a lot of games this year. I think they're going to go on a deep playoff run. I trust in Bryce, I trust in Dan, I trust in Dave, I trust in everyone. And that's all I really want to say. Keep pounding. Go Canes. They play tonight. Happy birthday to Chuba Hubbard. I'll see you all in the next one.